Hello, Virgo. I am Ariel, your tarot translator. We're going to jump in, Virgo, for your very first reading of the 2026 new year. I am a Virgo sun, so this reading is special to me in that way because we share that same sun sign, but this could also be for your Virgo Venus, your Virgo moon, or your Virgo North Node, any other strong placement where you have Virgo in your chart. This is going to have something hopefully in it that resonates for you. So we're going to start off today, Virgo, with a pre-shuffled deck with our Oracle cards, Divine Goddess Oracle cards. This stuff saves my fingers. It really helps me shuffle. So I'm just going to grab one card from here and we're going to put it at the top of our table. And this is going to be an overall message, a theme for the reading. Okay, we've got the first one that came out. We've got Parvati, devotion, the goddess of devotion. She's beautiful. She really looks like she is really sitting in her truth. She's in a state of meditation. Her eyes almost look like golden, like they are seeing beyond, right? And she is giving a sense of devotion, I feel like, to like her higher self and to her divine femininity. That's what I'm gathering from that card right now. The next card we're going to do is going to be a angel number card. So there's a lot of big shifts happening for Virgos all over as a collective. Virgo signs have been going through a lot of tough cycles from like the last 3 to 5 years. And this year of 2026, the year of the fire horse, has some really great things in store for us, for Cancer, for some other signs. But we're talking about us Virgos right now. And the card that came out for us is the 9999, Lessons Learned. Culmination, results, benefits, reflection, completion. This is quite auspiciously a year of completions for us Virgos. Take the stock of your accomplishments and how you have arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive towards your goals. Maintain your momentum and know that the powers of the heavens have your back. You made it, and the reward goes to you, Virgo. So here is your angel blessing number, and that is such a message that resonates for me. There have been so many cycles that I have had to repeat over and over and over again, and I finally, at the very end of my 2025, had a moment where I realized I was done with those repeated cycles of that particular lesson. I'm sure I'm going to repeat cycles 1,000 times again in other aspects of my life, but in that one particular one that I have at the forefront of my mind right now, it was closed up with such dignity and reassurance that it left me really feeling like that chapter is ready to end. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what came up next. We have the Seven of Swords. This is a really beautiful deck. This is by an artist out in California, and oh gosh, I just love the holographic imagery on this deck. So the Seven of Swords talks about, things that are, whether consciously or subconsciously, in a state of either denial or deception in some way. It can talk about being betrayed or betraying yourself or betraying others in some way. So there's something about this, like, you've made it through these lessons learned, the culmination of the results, the benefits, the reflection, and the completion of some sort of cycle that felt like either you were betraying yourself or someone was betraying you. That cycle has come to a close. You made it, and the reward goes to you. That is so interesting. And again, you had devotion here at the very forefront. Let's get one more card, and then after we do these, we're going to jump into the tarot. We're going to do a Celtic cross for us here. Let's see one card here. I lovingly grant myself permission to manifest and receive all the desires of my heart in the perfect alignment with divine timing. Okay, Virgo, so I feel like in this scenario here, we've got some lessons in the past that very much had to do with love. They had to do with love. They had to do with the way that we were showing up in our love relationships, with the way that people were showing up for us. As a Virgo, we tend to give. We tend to see the potential in people. We tend to really put ourselves not always first. And we tend to find people that need fixing. That is just something that as Virgos, we are sort of known through our astrological blueprint to do. And you might not necessarily align with all of that, but I am very much getting a message here of, you know, these lessons that came through in this past year, or maybe that you've been working on for the past 3 to 5 years, are coming to a completion. You are no longer going to be repeating those cycles. You shouldn't be repeating those cycles. You should have moved forward from them. And to not do so would almost be a 7 of Swords, a betrayal to yourself. That's the message that I'm gathering from those cards right there. We're going to tie them into the reading at the very end. We're going to jump into our Celtic Cross right now. And I'm going to go ahead and use this deck right here. This has got some really great art depiction. It's a very realistic looking deck. So we're going to jump in with our first card here, Virgo, and this is going to be the present situation. So the energy and obstacles that you're facing in the present moment right now. What is Virgo dealing with very much in the present moment, at the heart of the matter for this Celtic Cross reading? Source, give me a card, one card, please, for present situation. Thank you. The Moon. So you're dealing with some underlying emotions. You're dealing with some hidden sort of feelings that you have that you're not typically comfortable releasing, or that you feel like others might not understand. There's some sort of hidden thing going on here, whether that's like you're ruminating within yourself, or you are just holding on to very logically your thoughts and your aspirations in an internal way for the moment. The immediate challenge to this first card here, the energy that's blocking or influencing your situation right now, Virgo, is the Two of Swords. So you're very much stuck between like two choices, right? Your path is going to go down this way, or it's going to go down this way. And that is what is challenging, crossing, that's why it's called a Celtic Cross, crossing your moon energy. You could also be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio in this situation. Okay, Virgo, for our next card, we're going to go to the root cause. This is the foundation, the unconscious energies your situation is based on. So let's go. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. That is us. That's Virgo energy. So the foundation, the unconscious energies, are the Queen of Pentacles. So our challenge is somehow two choices that need to be made, and the root of everything is these internal feelings that we have, something that is hidden below the surface, whether we're conscious of it or not. Let's keep going with the Celtic Cross here. We're going to do some clarifiers. The next card we're going to pull is going to be, what's the recent past? Okay, so in the recent past, what you have just left behind you that affects the present situation is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot is very much a depiction of someone, they've got a sword and they're sort of looking like behind them. So they're looking at what just happened, right? It can be seen as a spying card. It can be seen, which I'm not getting the energy of that. I'm getting more of like an energy of, what did I just learn? What just happened? Like, this guy just got a vision of like, the guy's like, where did the ball go? Like, how far did I hit it out of the park? Yeah, I don't know why that's the message that I got. I've never seen that in my visions before for that particular card. But moving on, we're going to go to asking God, source, the universe, whatever you believe your higher power to be, for a message from above. And we've got the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups very much talks about repeated cycles, Virgo. I talked about that. We tend to need to repeat several cycles because we see so much potential in people and we have such a healing energy. We are very much, one of our greatest attributes is that we are healers, is that we see people beyond who they are on the surface level. And that's why we tend to find people, whether it be platonic, romantic, or business relationships, where they need our help in some way. Because we seek people sometimes to avoid our own issues that we can help in some capacity. So in the immediate future, the card that we have is, we've got the Devil. And that is a likely event that lies just ahead of you. So there's something about an obsessive, compulsive energy in this coming future energy here regarding this situation, which I really need more clarifiers to understand. But we're going to go on here to your thoughts and feelings about the current situation. How are you feeling about the matter at hand? So this is how you, Virgo, are feeling. You are feeling justice, right? So the Justice card talks about your karmic balance. Something here in the recent past may have been a repeated cycle where you feel like I'm constantly being the one overgiving in situations, and it is my time to just focus on how am I going to get back my energy I'm getting very much right now. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to clarify all of these in just a moment. Let's see. The other person involved in the situation, how are their opinions influencing the situation at hand right now? And we've got the Queen of Swords. So this person that you're dealing with is contemplating in some way, shape, or form, disconnecting from some aspect of this relationship potentially, or looking to have a very truthful, honest conversation moving forward, or afraid that you are going to cut the soul tie off in some way, or that you are going to bring some heavy sort of truth to them that they might not be ready to hear. The person you're dealing with might feel that way. In your hopes and fears, Virgo, you've got the High Priestess, which is your intuition. That is at the core of most Virgos, right? We have very, very strong intuition. You could be dealing with a lot of different signs here, but in your fears, you are sort of ruminating over, can I trust my gut? Can I trust my intuition? What even is my intuition? What's the difference between my heart and my mind in the matter? Which one should I follow? I'm very much getting that type of energy from this. The potential outcome, please. The potential outcome for the Virgo collective tapped into this reading. What's the potential outcome? I want you to think about whatever the situation is in detail right now, Virgo, and we're going to pull this card based off of what the potential outcome. There we go. Thank you. Oh, 10 of Pentacles. That is like total financial stability. It is very much, Pentacles are earth energy. They're Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. It's grounding energy. It's the most maximum happiest life you could have in the 3D, right? It's like if you're seeing someone who is also, coming from a divorce or something, let's say, you would be two couples that are coming together to form like the Brady Bunch, right? Like you're coming together in the 3D to blend your families together, to blend your assets together. Or it could be from an individual standpoint, you're achieving some really incredible financial gains here in the coming future if you follow sort of what your intuition is telling you to do. Let's go ahead and clarify these cards and see if we have any overlapping cards in the energy here. So I'm going to actually use this deck, forgive my reach, over here. And I'm going to see what the clarifiers are for the Virgo collective. Starting off with our first card is the Moon at the heart of the matter here. What is the Moon as the present situation? What's the Moon, please? The King of Cups. So you could be a male or a female, doesn't matter, but there's more water energy here. So the Moon is talking about the obstacles you're facing at the heart of the matter right now, something to do with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is not the Queen of Cups. And again, it doesn't have to be male or female. There's no gender in tarot, but the King of Cups is much more steady with his emotions. He very much like the Moon doesn't just let them spill over. The Queen of Cups is very free-flowing with her love, very free-flowing with her energy, mind, body, and soul. The King of Cups is very reflective. Like he's like, who do I want to share this incredible glass of wine with? Interesting. And the immediate challenge, your initial block is the Two of Swords, and that is clarified by the Seven of Swords. So this is the second time the Seven of Swords has popped up for you, Virgo. There's something about a choice that needs to be made that is really challenging for you because you feel like you could make a choice that in some way you're associating with right and wrong. You're associating one choice with the right choice, one choice with the wrong choice. One choice feels like you're doing the right thing, but you're betraying yourself. One choice feels like you're betraying somebody else, but you're doing the right thing for you. That's what I'm gathering here. And that is a very challenging challenge. So let's see what the Queen of Pentacles is at the root of the cause. This is the foundation, the unconscious energies that your situation is based on. And again, you've got the Moon, Virgo. What in the world is going on here? So this is the Moon clarified twice. Now the Moon is clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. Before the Moon, in the other deck we had here, was clarifying the King of Cups. So, okay, we've got We've got a Virgo collective here who is possibly in a hidden dynamic situation where they are contemplating what their next strategic move is. Let's see, the Page of Swords. We're going to see what the clarifier for that is. And here you've got the Sun, which is the most like happiest card in the tarot. So in the recent past, you just left behind a situation that taught you something about what truly brings you happiness. Something that's sort of unconventional, something that makes you, again, feel Seven of Swords energy. Like you're betraying, I don't know, society standards, yourself, you're betraying somebody else to find your own happiness. Something in the recent past you learned about yourself brings you tremendous happiness, but it somehow feels like a betrayal to you. You're seeing it as a betrayal. Six of Cups to someone, be it the other person, a third party involved, I'm not sure yet. So the message from God, source, the universe, right? From message from the highest vibrational frequency you can get is the Nine of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups is what the Nine of Pentacles is clarifying. So what that is telling me is that there is somebody here in your past that is causing a repeated cycle perhaps, or wasn't perhaps giving you that reciprocal energy that you feel you deserve. And the message from above is, you know, remember that you as a Virgo can be happy all by yourself. You would love to have the Ten of Pentacles, and I see that coming for you, you know, as an outcome. But before you can get to the Ten of Pentacles, you have to go through the Nine of Pentacles, and that is very much a very individualistic energy. The Nine of Pentacles doesn't include anybody else. That's inner boss energy. That's inner financial, you know, abundance and tangible 3D manifestations that you've made, a car, a home, a business endeavor, relationships, things that you've worked really hard to, friendships, I should say, that you've worked really hard to maintain and to curate that world around you from a very like single as a Pringle, at least in the state of mind. Because we can be in a relationship with somebody, you can be married to somebody, and still have an aspect of you that is just individualistically yours. Keep that in mind. There's something about that meant to be shared here. Clarifying the Devil in the immediate future. The likely events that lie just ahead of you is the Page of Swords again. So, yep, I get this. I totally get this. So what we're saying here is, what is the Devil? It's the Page of Swords. Why is the Devil the Page of Swords? Because the Page of Swords is constantly looking back, reflecting back on what did they just learn. And it's like that ruminating energy. It's going over and over and over. I knew it was like a compulsive type thing. It felt very like almost like addicted to that Virgo rabbit hole mind that we have, where gosh knows if you're really are a Virgo and not a cross watcher, we get in our heads and we go down that rabbit hole and we can spiral like no one else. Like the anxiety that we feel giving us gut issues or ruled by the gut is real. Like we look at everything from every single angle possible, because there's no way you're going to trick me as a Virgo, right? Like we've already seen 10 steps ahead. We've already analyzed every possible outcome because we see it as protecting ourselves. But we can get to a point where we are so constantly in that, you know, repeated every which angle, every which way that it could possibly end and go, repeating that like movie in our mind, those multiple movies and those multiple outcomes in our mind, that it gets obsessive. It gets really obsessive. But something here in the recent past taught us a lesson, that even though it felt like we were betraying someone or ourselves, this thing that we found in the recent past, we learned really brings us tremendous joy, is something that in the future we're going to continue to recycle in our mind and continue to come to the same outcome, that whatever that thing is, person, place, thing, really does bring us tremendous joy. Interesting. Okay. So your thoughts and feelings, ask yourself how you're feeling. You've got the Hermit. That's our card, Virgo. That's our major arcana card. That is Virgo energy in the major arcana. So how are you feeling with the matter at hand? You're feeling like you are looking like the Hermit does, and contemplating with the star inside of what's in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. He's got the lantern, the stars inside of it, and the star is healing energy. You're looking inward to see like, what is going to heal me from this? How am I going to accept that this is like this thing, person, place, or thing that brings me joy? How am I going to accept that this is really for me if I am still seeing it as a betrayal in some way? Because justice is here, and justice talks about things coming into balance. And often we, by society standards and by, just by so many different aspects that are imposed upon us as people in this embodiment, right? Our souls are much wiser than our people minds, but sometimes we get caught up in the way we feel we're supposed to show up in the world. And when that doesn't match, especially as perfectionist Virgos, what we see others doing and doesn't match what we think we're supposed to be doing, we can get really anxious about that. We can get really just in a space of like heaviness. Nine of Swords. That's sleepless nights. That's somebody with a lot of anxiety, unable to sleep at night because they keep going back and forth in their mind about like, is this okay? Is this safe? Is this right? Is it wrong? Is it okay? Why do I feel so good about this thing that feels like a betrayal to someone else or to myself or to an institution if this is about business? I don't know what it is, but there's something here that as a Virgo collective I'm tapping into, talking about our lessons that we've learned and granting ourselves permission to manifest and receive all the desires of my heart in perfect alignment with divine timing. Something here is saying it's safe, but you're just not feeling it. You're looking in every which direction. And I see in this card, all the fingers are pointing at that poor girl. It's like in your head, Queen of Swords, the other person that is influencing this situation, or you are feeling like this other person is making you feel like it's all your fault. So the person that you're feeling the betrayal is happening to is what I'm feeling you're really struggling with in this Virgo collective that I'm tapping into. There's someone you feel like you're betraying and you feel this innate need to be really honest about it, but you're so scared that all the blame is going to be put on you, that this person isn't going to see the other side of the coin, isn't going to understand why you made these choices that you made, leading to this feeling of like, something's like off here. Your biggest hopes and fears, the High Priestess and the Three of Swords. Your biggest hopes and fears are hurting somebody getting hurt. Your intuition tells you that because you see this as some sort of, Seven of Swords energy twice here. You see this as some sort of betrayal energy. You're afraid that you're going to get hurt or that somebody else is going to get hurt. You intuitively really feel like somebody is bound to get their heart broken in this situation should it continue the way that it is. Yet in the outcome, Virgo, you have the Magician, which can sometimes be seen as Gemini energy. I'm not going to focus on signs right now. I'm going to focus on the fact that the Magician is the major arcana card for the person that has the ability, they've got all the tools, earth, fire, water, wind, air, to manifest anything they want. And what are they manifesting in this situation? The Ten of Pentacles. They're finding a way because Virgos are really, really smart. Virgos are like one of the top 3 most intellectual and logical signs in the zodiac. We're right up there with Aquarius. And this is like very much an energy of saying, you know what, I'm going to flip and figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to go from this like heavy energy of feeling like I'm going to hurt somebody, feeling like my needs need to be put on the back burner because if I put my needs forward and I act in my Nine of Pentacles energy, I'm going to ultimately, Three of Swords, hurt somebody. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to figure out a way to sort of, I hate to say have my cake and eat it too, because that has such a negative connotation to it, but it kind of is. It's a way of saying, I'm going to take care of my needs, focus on myself, my fulfillment, my happiness, and at the same time, I'm going to make sure that I protect those that I love in this situation. So Virgo, there's definitely something here that that is heavy on your mind, that is at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the 9 of Cups. That's, you know, that's happiness on an emotional level, very much like the 9 of Pentacles over here. That's the 5D match to the 3D. But that can be a very, you can perceive that as a very selfish energy. The 9 of Cups is not about the 10 of Cups. It's about your own emotional fulfillment. You've got the 8 of Swords. Gosh, that brings you anxiety. Something about putting yourself first really gives you anxiety, Virgo. And you've got the 7 of Cups. It brings you a ton of confusion. You feel like, oh my goodness, you just really feel like it is confusing. It's confusing because it goes against what logic tells you is supposed to be going on. So what is the advice here, Source? Like, give me something that I can draw from that's going to give me some advice here for Virgo. Like, what are they supposed to do with this situation that makes them feel like they're going to hurt themselves or somebody else, or somebody's going to be betrayed in this situation here? So the root girl, the disowned self. Interesting. So she's setting herself ablaze. She is choosing to feel restrained, controlled, held back. Why would she choose that? Why is she choosing that? Is she choosing that over herself? Don't let others know you're interested. Flirting and is approachable. Because there's mixed signals here. She's giving mixed signals to people. Virgo, I am really tapping into a confused collective right now. And I am a Virgo, so I don't like to leave things confused. I mean, I'm absorbing all your confused energy right now, and I need clarification. I can't leave it like this. Spirit, please help me decipher through this reading here. There's unresolved issues, okay? There's unresolved issues here in this situation. I could gather that on my own. What else? Page of Wands, Emperor. There's that dang 7 of Swords again, Virgo. There's something here. Why does it keep popping up? What are you feeling guilty about? What are you feeling guilty about? Honesty. Okay, fine. I get it. You want to know what it is, Virgo? Here's what it is. You feel like there's a situation that you're currently in right now that is against the norm in some way, whether it's a third-party situation, whether it's feels like lying or cheating or stealing in some capacity. That doesn't have to be like you're robbed a bank and you feel bad about it. It could be something small, like you are, let's say it's not romantic for a moment and pretend it's platonic. You made a friend through a friend and you really like this new friend that you made through somebody else. And you feel bad because you really want to go on vacation with that friend. And you know that the friend that introduced the two of you can't come along. You just know that they're going to be out of town. And the two of you really want to hang out and go on this trip. But you feel like you'd be betraying that third-party friend, that third-party girlfriend or guy friend, if you go hang out with this person that you recently met, that you really clicked with, because it just feels wrong, like to not include the primary person that introduced you. That's a platonic example of you feeling guilty. Even though that person brings you a lot of joy, you haven't met somebody that you click with like that in a long time, and you just really feel like you two are made to be like really good friends, possibly even better friends than the two people, you know, that were originally friends. I'm going down a rabbit hole here because I'm going to bring it all together. That feels like a betrayal. You feel like you're betraying your original friend because you really have this draw to their, let's say, best friend or family member or whatever that would exclude them in some way. But Source here is telling you, you need to be honest with yourself first and foremost. And you need to have Emperor energy or Empress energy. You need to know that you are worthy of whatever it is that you are seeking. And that, you know, we're all learning. We all go from pages to queens and emperors and empresses in our lifetime multiple times throughout different lessons. And there's something about this page energy right now with the 7 of Swords for like the third time here, that's saying you're allowed to have your own beginning. You're allowed to have a fresh start. You're allowed to, Virgo. you're allowed to love. You're allowed to love somebody, even if it feels like choosing that person is ultimately going to lead you down a path where you might have to close out a cycle, and it leaves you very confused and you don't even know how to approach it. But the universe is saying you're going to find your way, Virgo. You're going to find your way. Whatever Virgo collective I'm tapping into right now that found somebody platonically or romantically that they love, that they have feelings for, that brings them tremendous happiness, but yet feels like a profound betrayal to somebody else or to themselves. Source is telling you you're going to figure it out. It's got your back. You've got the Magician. You've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is the happiest that you can possibly be. Whatever the outcome to the situation is, know without a shadow of a doubt that it might feel murky right now, but it's heading into a direction of clarity. It is heading into a direction of honesty, whether it's between two people or the yin and yang within yourself. That is the message that I have for you, Virgo. That is a really heavy message, and I'm going to attempt to lighten the mood by going into a card from one of, I'm going to do one from each of these decks because that was a really heavy reading. I feel like you deserve another Listen Be card because that's like telling you that all the cards in this deck apply to you, which they do. They apply to all of us, but can we get a specific one for a second here? You will get to where you want to be. It's effing inevitable. Oh, that just gave me goosebumps. Okay, so here's the overall message. It feels murky right now. It feels sticky. It feels like you're going to hurt somebody. It feels like you might get hurt. It feels like a really dicey situation at the moment, but there's love here, and that love is more than anything, your love for yourself. And that should never give you this feeling of injustice and Seven of Swords and devil energy, because ultimately, without loving yourself, you can't love anybody else, Virgo. And you know that. You deep down know that. So that is the last message that I'm called to give you right now. I'm wishing you nothing but light and love because that's what you deserve. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.